Hello, people of YouTube land, those that are part of the Cringe Crew Gaming Community Discord, those that follow Ted, I, and Hayley on Twitch, and those that are listening to this on Spotify or whatever platform that we put this podcast on. I am Traductus.
I'm Ted.
I'm Hayley.
And this is the Cringe Crew Gaming movie review podcast, and we are still on Hayley's classic picks, and for this week, and we are doing 1996's Scream. As I stated, released in 1996, specifically December 18th in Los Angeles, and for the rest of the United States, December 20th, 1996. So 5 days before Christmas. That's a hell of a Christmas gift.
It's a Christmas movie now, dude. Stick it right there with Die Hard.
And Gremlins.
No.
This had a budget of $14 to $15 million and had a box office return of $173 million, and is directed by the legendary Wes Craven, who's known for directing the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, People Under the Stairs,
Haley, did you just
2005's Red Eye.
Did
Yes,
Haley?
may he rest in peace.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that. I thought you were praying to the man like he was God.
That too.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Go ahead, Stalin.
And yes, unfortunately, he did pass away at 76. Now, Wes Craven actually directed, if I believe right, yes, he directed all of the Scream movies all the way up to number 4, which was the fourth one was his last movie that he directed.
Yeah. Fans of his made the new ones.
Now, this movie basically ended up getting made because Kevin Williamson had wrote the script and wasn't expecting it to be picked up. He was hoping that it would get him better work, but he was influenced by obviously his favorite horror films such as Halloween, Friday the 13th, Prom Night, Nightmare on Elm Street, but also watching a documentary about serial killer Danny Rolling that left him very, very unsettled. But after getting the script picked up by
is a hell of a name, dude. Your parents must hate
Dimension
you.
Films, after having it pitched to Bob Weinstein, there was actually quite a few directors that were considered, including Oliver Stone, Danny Boyle, Tom McLaughlin, Sam Raimi, Robert Rodriguez, George A. Romero, Quentin Tarantino, and Anthony Waller.
Imagine if this was a fucking Tarantino film. God damn.
Or freaking Sam Raimi or Robert Rodriguez. Or George A. fucking Romero. But anyway, it ended up going to Wes Craven. Craven wasn't sure if he was going to say yes to it or not, but they basically one of the producers told Dimension Films to basically give Craven an offer that he couldn't refuse, and therefore, Craven's like, all right, I'll direct it. And then he met with Kevin Williamson, the writer, and then tweaked the script a little bit, and then things were ready to go, which brings us to casting. We have David Arquette as Dewey Riley. There was a couple other people that were suggested besides David Arquette to play Dewey, including W. Earl Brown, who actually plays Kenny Jones, Gail Weathers' cameraman. But ultimately it did go to David Arquette, and David Arquette actually ad-libbed a lot of lines and actually changed his character from being a jock douchebag to a
Idiot.
Basically. Basically, just pretty much like a police officer that thinks he should have authority, but unfortunately is way too much of a nice person to really, show authority. Which brings us right now to Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers. A couple other people that were thought of to play Gail Weathers included Brooke Shields and Janine Garofalo, but they wanted someone that was a more established actress, and with Courtney Cox having backgrounds in Family Ties and also Friends. However,
Gross.
Craven wasn't sure of casting her because he wasn't sure if she could play that part, which Courtney Cox sent Craven a letter that he was very fine and very capable of being a bitch, and it wouldn't be that straight. I mean, it wouldn't be that stretch, that much of a stretch at all for her to play that character.
Third time's a charm.
We also have Nev Campbell as Sidney Prescott. Now, a couple other people that were suggested for playing Sidney included Drew Barrymore, who ends up playing Casey Becker, and Drew Barrymore actually turned down Sidney Prescott to play Casey Becker. Part of it was because they weren't. The producer said she wasn't sure she wanted to commit full time on the project, but I think her suggestion was kind of like how everybody agreed to her casting at the beginning was it would be more impactful if your biggest star gets killed right off at the beginning because gets killed right off at the beginning because it means anybody's can be killed at any point. But other people that were suggested for the role were Molly Ringwald, Vanessa Shaw, and Reese Witherspoon. Also, Alicia Witt and Brittany Murphy were also suggested, but Nev Campbell ended up getting the role. And then character of Billy Loomis, played by Skeet Ulrich. Another person that was suggested for his role was Vince Vaughn, and
Oh dear God.
yeah, and Matthew Lillard auditioned for the role. Oddly enough, Skeet Ulrich actually didn't audition for the role. His girlfriend at the time showed up on set, about like during casting, and then suggested him to the filmmakers. And then they met with him. They're like, "Yeah, this would be perfect." And then obviously Matthew Lillard, due to audition as Billy Loomis, got the role of Stu Mocker. We also have Jamie Kennedy as Randy Meeks. Originally, the studio did not want Jamie Kennedy in that role. They wanted Seth Green, Jason Lee, or Breckin Meyer for the role. But it was But Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson liked the innocence of Jamie Kennedy's comedy and thought that he would be the only person that was well suited for the role. Ellen, let's see, a couple other people that were cast. Oh, Rose McGowan as Tatum Riley. Another person, a couple people that auditioned for it was Thora Birch and also Natasha Lyonne. While Natasha Lyonne was the preferred choice, she was under 18 at the time and could not join casting without her parents' permission. So it ended up going to Rose McGowan, who ended up dyeing her hair so that way she was to avoid having two dark-haired female characters, and also did a lot of like forming the character around like her own personality, as in like she got rid of like the Indigo Girls posters from Tatum's bedroom because she didn't think the character would listen to an older band, and also bought her own outfits. And that being said, a couple other people. Liev Schreiber was cast as Cotton Weary due to being involved in another project with Miramax Films, which was also owned by the Weinsteins. And the person that does the voice of Ghostface is voice actor Roger L. Jackson, who's known for being the voice of Ghostface, and also Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls.
Can we hold on? Yep. Can I, before we break into Mojo Jojo, because that's clearly what's important from that sentence. You said the voice of Ghostface, who is famous for being the ghost of, or the voice of Ghostface. Can we just, Stallman, get your shit together. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, Mojo Jojo is the voice of the of the killer here. Yeah. Which is hilarious. I did not know that until now. Also, Henry Winkler as Principal Arthur Hembury. And he's literally in this because he's Wes Craven's friend and literally just took the role as a favor to Wes Craven. And Wes Craven makes a cameo appearance as Freddy the janitor.
I think this movie made me realize, while we're on Henry Winkler, that the moment he jumped the shark, he started looking 55. And since then, he has continued to look exactly the same age for like 30 fucking years. It's incredible. Henry Winkler, what a man. What a man.
Now, couple more things from the background.
Silence is good for podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently there's a couple times where Wes Craven was almost fired by the Weinsteins, but other producers and also the cast pretty much said like, well, if Wes Craven's not directing the film, we're not doing it. So therefore he basically kept his job because, you know, everybody liked Wes directing it. Skeet Ulrich didn't understand that this was supposed to have comedic elements and thought that Jamie Kennedy, David Arquette's, and Matthew Lillard's comedic lines and ad libs throughout the movie were ruining a good horror film.
Poor Skeet.
And also, apparently, when Skeet was tearing up the couch with the knife, the set designers didn't realize that there was feathers in the couch, and Wes Craven thought it was amusing that he had feathers stuck to him with the fake blood and just kept that in. And also problems with the fake blood. Apparently, Billy was supposed to Skeet was just supposed to throw the phone like right at the ground while being mad at Sid, and then due to the blood being stuck with the phone, accidentally hits Matthew Lillard, who utters the line, "You fucking hit me with the phone, you dick," which was a legit reaction. And also another ad lib, the best line in the entire movie. Matthew Lillard saying, "My mom and dad are going to be so mad at me." That was also ad lib.
That's the best line to you?
Yeah.
My favorite part of doing Hayley's Week has been Hayley's reaction to everything out of Stallman's mouth. It makes me giggle so fucking hard.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But that being said, I think we'll go into plot, because I could go into like a lot of background things, because I suggest people to really kind of read the Wikipedia thing for like filming and everything, because there's a lot of like hilarious stories, like having David Arquette's hotel room being turned into a nightclub and shit for like the cast. Like, they definitely had a lot of fun making this.
All right, well, plot is it's a comedic slasher. Moving on. Likes and dislikes.
That's not even all of it. Oh my God.
All right, listen.
Hey, angry.
Then just be angry. Start with your likes. I know you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
okay.
you.
Well, this is my all-time favorite movie. So everything.
If you couldn't tell by the shirt.
This is a hoodie.
Okay, hoodie.
Thank you. Anyway,
You're wearing a hoodie in Florida. Jesus Christ.
so, Ghostface, the movie. I mean, that's pretty much it. I like everything about this movie. There's very little that I didn't like, and I know it's not entirely, the best movie ever made, but I just think that they did really well with making it what it was, a almost rip-off of slasher movies. Like, it's supposed to be making fun of itself, and I think that they did that really well throughout the entire movie. I don't think... I mean, aside from some characters, I think the acting was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't horrendous. And just the top is that they chose correctly when it came to the mask, because they weren't going to use that mask originally.
Oh yeah, Harvey Weinstein was adamant about not using that because he didn't want to spend the money to license that, and then Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson told him to go fuck himself, which was one of the two reasons why the Weinsteins tried firing Wes Craven.
And thus we have the iconic Ghostface mask, my favorite fictional serial
licensed
killer
by
of all
Fun
time.
World.
And Billy Loomis.
It's weird
we'll
because
get into Billy Loomis when I get into
this movie. This movie. First up, this is the best movie we've watched in 2 fucking weeks of these. What is this, episode 9?
I agree. I agree.
It's not fucking close. It's not fucking close. My big likes. First is. I don't know who to give credit to, whether it's the script, whether it's the original writing of it, whether it's the direction. I don't know who to give credit to. But there's a really fun balance between you can take this mostly seriously and this is a complete and fucking utter joke.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a combination of both, because for what I hear that Craven basically kept most of the script, but just tweaked it just a little bit to flesh it out.
Well, so if you pay attention to this as a serious movie, right?
It works.
You can do it through the whole movie. That you can say, okay, I don't know who it is, and all of these people are suspects, and to not know. That's
right. I also really like that. That was on my list of likes, and I just completely forgot about it. But it's
actually on mine.
I knew the plot prior to watching the movie. I knew who the killer was. I had spoiled it for myself. But even watching it, and if I didn't know, they do well at, it's each person. It's not, they make you question who it is every single time.
And to be honest, it's always, comes down to, 4 people. It's either, because there's numerous times where you suspect that it's Dewey. There's other times where you suspect that it's Billy. And then I guess they kind of sort of suspect that it's Randy, but there's certain parts where you can roll Randy out. And then by the end of it, you kind of narrow it down and oh wait, shit, it's probably Stu.
Well,
but then
there's a moment in time where you could fucking blame Henry Winkler's character, and you could just be he comes off really weird. They do a really great job at deceiving you through the whole thing. If you take this movie seriously, probably up until the very last scene, you can do that. You can get away with it. If you want to watch this movie as a joke, there's not a single moment that's unentertaining. Outside, they do the first 10-15 minutes as exposition for you to meet the characters and understand relationships, and after that you can just laugh along to this whole fucking thing. They do a really great job at balancing in a serious horror movie with, hey, we're making fun of horror movies, fuck you if you like this, you're an idiot. I think the ultimate tribute to that point is the fact that they're calling out the standard formula for horror movies and then doing it, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of my other things that I really liked was, unless you're seriously paying attention and watching it it's a serious movie, trying to figure out who it is, the scene where Billy shows up to the party, and he gives Stu a look. Like, it's this subtle thing, but it gives it away.
There's a couple of times where they interact with each other that does give it away, and like, since spoiler alert, there's 2 killers, which I love, by the way. The fact that because when you're going throughout the entire thing, you are just expecting 1 killer, and then when it's revealed to be 2, it makes perfect sense. And honestly, the fact that you don't know that it's 2 killers adds to the confusion of everything.
My second big like for this, beyond just the incredible like direction and cohesiveness of the film, right, is the idea that like we talked about this earlier through this week of podcasts, that like essentially slashers just go without motive. It's just murder because murder is fun to watch in a horror movie, right?
Right.
And this movie like intentionally like exceeds that standard, right? Where it's hey, specifically there's no motive. And then like when they do that job of pointing out to you there doesn't have to be a motive, this is a slasher film, in basically that as a direct quote, then they give you the motive anyway because they just kind of wrote it in at the back end just to fuck with you a little more. Like,
which I love Stu's motive, peer pressure. I'm way too sensitive.
It's just like it's got to give you that like shock that, oh, this is what happened, and that's why they talk so much about her mom in the beginning.
Right, but so they do the good job at giving you that motive, but also like they highlight the idea that you don't have to. Throughout the entire movie, like it was just like, this guy wants to kill for fun, and that makes an entertaining movie. We don't need a motive. Like, it can just be a killer. And so they do a really good job at like giving you a cohesive story and just making a pointless slasher where one dude murders a bunch of people, right? Like they mess with all of the tropes, all of the standards, and both things work at the same time. Like I just think this is brilliantly written for being essentially a spoof. Like this is just so phenomenally well done.
I agree. I'm biased, but I agree.
Yeah. I also like quite a few of like actors were allowed to like ad-lib their parts and also like have creative direction to like their characters. I don't think that David Arquette's character would have worked out as a jock douchebag. I think him actually being like kind of like timid literally like does more better in the situation that he is, because it kind of makes
does more better.
Sorry.
Good old
had a long day at work. Okay,
this is the episode of we're not letting Stallman live. just be better. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Stallman.
But no, like it honestly works out better for him to be kind of like a timid person that wants respect. Like that literally just makes the character a lot more interesting, and honestly the situation more dire, because you expect Deputy Due to kind of sort of be like the hero police officer, and there ain't no way he's gonna be that.
Well, I also think that like it helps drive the plot. Like I wasn't familiar with the background of this movie and that he was supposed to be a jock, right? So like it's watching this, that the idea that like he is timid and shy and just kind of awkward, like pushes forward his relationship with Gale Weathers that helps drive the plot. Like the narrative happens kind of because he's a fucking doofus. And like for him to be a jock, I don't think that feels as natural. I have to agree with you, Stallman, that the actors being able to put in their own input and kind of craft their own characters just turns this into a better story.
Well, and I also think I'm not saying that like it's the case for most movies like this, but like if we want to compare, going off the whole Final Girl title, if we compare it to like Texas Chainsaw Massacre compared to this movie, Sydney's character isn't a helpless moron.
True.
She is not stupid. She, she's not the smartest, but
Right.
trope it like she is. It's they make
Right.
fun.
She's
But,
very, I just
towards
didn't
the
realize how
end,
much of a
she just,
teenager
like,
she
just like, I mean, she has no hesitation, nor does she have any like weakness in her. She's like, "Fuck you," and you know,
Yeah, she learns
finishes
from
them
her
off.
previous mistake. And even then, like, when they're trying to kill her numerous times, like, even before the final part, like, she always just, like, ends up, like, kicking the shit out of them.
Oh, I'm sorry. One of my likes still the man getting hit by every fucking door known to man. That is my. I don't even know who was who at that point, which one was getting hit by the door the most, but like, just the fucking fridge. I.
Uh,
Oh, it's my favorite. It's my favorite thing ever. I just love the balance of comedy and seriousness.
I guess I'll go into my likes. Number one, I think Matthew Lillard kind of especially at the end, steals this movie. Because he's ridiculous. And the funniest thing about this is that numerous reasons why, like, Billy's and Stu's plan falls, like, into the utter shitter is because Stu's such a goddamn idiot. Like, he doesn't check and see if Gale Weathers is actually dead. Um, he doesn't stay and watch Sydney. But, like, there's a whole bunch of different times where Stu is just, like, a hindrance to Billy, which honestly makes me think, like, even if their plan did go out well, I think Billy was just gonna kill Stu anyway. Just because, like, how Skeet portrays Billy as just, like, a complete and total dickhead. Even when you don't know that he's the killer, he's just a dickhead throughout the entire movie. And
Lovable dickhead.
Yeah.
lovable dick.
Eh.
I guarantee you, if, like, you were dating someone, it didn't matter how good looking as he was, treated you like that, you would tell him to go fuck himself.
But it's Skeet Ulrich.
It's just because this movie. Stop it. You just stop
I
reading
know,
into it.
I know. But but still, like, I love how, like, they do actually how each character interacts with each other, like Stu and Billy, how they interact with each other. I also like how they made Jamie Kennedy likable. Like, this is the only film series where, like, I think Jimmy Kennedy's character is actually likable, which is weird because usually he plays, like, very annoying characters. Well, in this he is annoying, but, like, for some reason he's very likable. I don't know, it's just because he's actually relatable in this.
Oh.
I'm not really, I can't really put my finger totally on it, but
I don't know him from anything else, so.
he was also in Son of the Mask and also Malibu's Most Wanted, which were really bad movies.
Moving along.
Let's see, what else? Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much covered everything else. But, like,
Okay.
sorry, like, honestly, the
Moving on.
best freaking climax out of any freaking movie, to be honest, for, like, in the slasher genre, for how ridiculous things just get. And that's
Hey,
literally
I'm
all
gonna
I
ask
got.
for your dislikes before I dispute that point.
Oh,
All right,
dislikes. Wait, me or him?
I mean, Haley, you're super eager to talk about your favorite movie. I'm just gonna let you have at it.
exactly.
Very, very few. I'm also biased. Anyway, one thing, there were a lot of scenes, and the more I watch this movie, the more I notice it. There's a lot of scenes where the audio does not line up with them speaking. I don't like that. It bothers me. As subtle as it is and as small as it is, I can't stand it. It just irks me whenever I see that in anything. Um I'm gonna be honest here. Stu kind of annoys the shit out of me towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly cringy. A lot of the acting's cringy. Um, I
He just makes me
think
fucking
they
laugh.
made. I think his character was a little too much over the top.
Wholeheartedly agree.
I love Stu. I love the idea of his character, but like also that he could have toned it down just a little bit, and it would have been just as good.
I could see
feel
that.
like feel like there was. I don't think there's anything else that comes to mind. I'm if there is, I forgot. So I'll let you guys go.
Okay.
I do have one more like that I just remembered. Wes Craven's cameo is actually great, and that's all I got for
Okay.
likes.
Go on.
I only really have one dislike about this movie, but it's kind of overarching.
I got two.
I think there's I recognize that a large part of this movie, like its enjoyability factor, is the entertainment, and it's not necessarily about the believability. But sometimes the believability just really takes something away from me. So there's twice in this movie where a barricaded door gets in the way. But you could have reached around the... When your head fits inside the door, you can probably get most of the way through it. You could force your way open. The other thing is that, like, if you can get your head through, you can reach your arm around and open the door that's jamming the door handle, and then you can just get your way inside. You don't just have to swing a knife into the fucking air to get through it. So I see you're confused. Okay, so the scene when Sydney first gets attacked by Ghostface, right? She barricades the door into her room with the closet door. He's halfway through the fucking door. He's waist deep in her fucking room, just swinging a knife in midair.
I think the way that door works is like he can't reach it in and push the door because the handle.
What I'm saying is that his shoulder was inside it. His elbow bends. He could have grabbed the door that's jamming it, moved it out of the way, and then just walked inside the room. Also, a door isn't going to withhold your body weight. He could have gone through it. He didn't need to sit there and swing at the air hoping she decided to walk into the knife. Okay? Those kinds of things, those believability factors just kind of like interfere with otherwise really good chase scenes. In the beginning of the end of the movie when they fuck, he gets stabbed, it's fake, she jumps over the bed, and then Ghostface just kind of swings at the backside of the bed and goes, oh fuck, and then chases her again, right? There's things like that just like, you know, this chase scene is really good, it's really well written, everything's fine, but come on, nobody does that, right? Like, this isn't a toddler, this is an adult, and it just kind of gets in the way. I think the culmination of...
Actually, I got three.
The culmination of all of that, right, I think is brought up even worse in the last scene. I'm not here to say that the last scene is bad necessarily. Like, I enjoyed it. It's still fun to watch. But there are so many times where it's just like, you could do better. Both from the survivor's side, both from the killer's side. Like, Gail Weathers gets kicked out the fucking door, is just laying on the porch unconscious, and nobody, not the guy with the knife, not the guy with the gun, is like, hey, maybe we should finish the job. They're like, nah, we're principled people, don't kill her. Like,
to be fair, Billy was about to, and then they realized Sydney was gone, so they got distracted.
Sure.
It's Stu's fault.
Sure. The distraction is all fine, right? But, like, they talked to the body, the unconscious body first. Do you know how many syllables it takes to pull the trigger? You could fire and then gloat, you dumbasses! Like, it's...
Why do you think I made the comment that I hate when they have to explain their entire life story before actually killing people? Look,
I get it. It's not any less enjoyable. I recognize it contributes to the plot and creates a fun end. I'm not here to talk shit, right? But I think it's like there's an overarching piece from start to end that it's just like, I can't believe this. Like, this is just silly. There's no sense of realism at all. I'm not even scared of you swinging at the air. You know, it's a lot of moments that just kind of get in the way. Overall, I think it's enjoyable, but it's very noticeable when everybody's inept.
Fun fact, apparently Skeet actually did get stabbed with the umbrella. while they were filming this, it missed like his vest and actually freaking stabbed him. So there's that. But here's my dislikes. One of them, to kind of, I guess, coincide with like your comment on Matthew Lillard. I think like Skeet, before he's revealed to be the killer, and I know he's supposed to kind of be like, definitely like one of the main suspects, and yeah, he is, one of the two killers. But I think I think they could have like less dickified him, because like there isn't really much a mystery for how much of a big of a fucking dick he is throughout this entire movie, where you're just like, all right, it's either A, he's the freaking killer, or B, he's gonna suffer a very, very terrible death and I can't freaking wait. And I think it could have been a little bit more nuanced if he wasn't just a dick that just wanted to get laid constantly.
Well, he's your average teenage boy. I mean, it's just.
Yeah?
I mean, you get it. Move it along. Stallman, next point.
But, all right. There is it comes to sound at the beginning. There's a few sound effects with like the stabbing and slicing. It really sounds like ketchup packets just being for like the squishy sound. Just sounds, a bit dated and like ruins like the suspense of disbelief.
One more dislike I have, and I have always had for this movie, was the beginning. When I can't remember her name. It's Casey,
Barrymore.
right?
Yeah, Casey.
Okay.
But you can just say Drew Barrymore. Yeah.
I'm not talking about whatever. Her boyfriend, when he's tied up on the back porch and they kill him, but it's so quick that I don't think they would have enough time in that scene to completely gut him with everything falling out. It just bothers me. I know I'm not usually one for realistic and things bothering me that aren't realistic, but that was the one thing that I've always hated about this movie.
As someone that has hunted before, yeah, it takes a lot longer to gut something than that.
In the moment watching it the first time, like, I think it bothered me, but I guess I can overlook it because it kind of establishes that the killer is just like there for fun. He's gonna murder. It doesn't matter. He's just killing and having fun. Like, because if it were something that happened consistently, I think I'd be more mad about it. But it's literally just the beginning, so it's like, hey, Ghostface murders for fun. He plays games, eat shit. Like.
Well, I mean, it's also tying Casey up as quick as they did. Like, it just
fair.
It's a little rushed in the beginning.
Fair.
But they also cut that scene down because it was too scary. So.
I also, my third dislike is, I think Tatum's death is extremely fucking unrealistic. Mainly because garage doors don't have that much power to break someone's spine or neck if you get stuck there. Literally, it's going to just stop.
Yeah, but it's funny as hell, Stallman.
Oh, it is, and it makes a good, and seeing her corpse like stuffed through there actually looks horrifying. But like, you could have had the same effect of just like stabbing the shit out of her and just shoving her through the doggy door.
No, it's funnier because she thought she could escape through the doggy door and he kills her using her own stupidity. No, it's way better this way. I will piggyback that a little bit though. One of the things that bothers me there is that there was a news van like staring at this house from the front side where the garage was, and nobody noticed it. That bothers the shit out of me. I was thinking that for literally 20 consecutive minutes. How is no one found
the
this
garage
body?
is up front and nobody notices. There's like a gang of like...
The party fucking leaves to go see the disemboweled fucking principal hanging from the goalpost, and there's people driving by, a house full of teenagers, and nobody goddamn notices the fucking garage. Idiots. All of them. Stupid. How do you not notice? Fuck off.
Alcohol and drugs.
Still, fuck off. Anyway. Anybody got anything else before we wrap this one up?
No,
Watch it.
good movie.
I'm happy to add to the counter. Easily the best movie we've watched out of the past fucking 9 goddamn podcasts. As always, you can join us in the Discord. We typically watch movies on Tuesdays. I think by the time this one comes out, we'll have recorded almost everything, so you probably won't get to watch any of these movies with us, but we watch a lot of fucking movies. The movie review podcast is going to stick around for quite some time, so, be on the lookout for all of that. As always, you can follow us all on Twitch. Stallman at Traductus, Hayley at Hayley_Bug18, myself at Ted Green Eagles. And I think that wraps us up for this one. We'll see you here tomorrow, and then again every day next week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
See ya.